But okay, I'm still online. That's good. Okay, let's go back to the beginning of the 9th chapter to take a look. Okay, so let's scroll up. Yeah, so here Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Varcha idam tu te goyatamam pravakshamyana suyave gyanam vigyana saitam yadgyaktva mukshate shubhat. Yeah, so why is Krishna saying this? Let's see what was said in the previous chapter. What was said in the last verse in chapter 8? If we can realize knowledge. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. Thank you. Experienced knowledge. Yeah, realized knowledge. That's what you call it. Yeah. So chapter 8, it ended with I'll copy paste the last text with the purport. See if we can get any smarter. So before chapter 9 starts, we will take the last verse of the 8th chapter. Yeah. Okay, so here 8:28. Vedeshu yageshu tapasu cheva dhaneshu yad punya palam pratishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yugi paramstanam upayiti chadyam. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Prabhupada even says that this verse is a summation of the 7th and 8th chapters. So in that way, we can rely on this verse for understanding the link. So now what is the verse 9.1 saying? The Supreme Personality of God said, My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the mysteries of material existence. So what did Prabhupada said in the commentary also? Yeah, the point is that devotional service is the thing, and the difficult things such as tapasya and scholarship and all these things, they're included in being a devotee. So Prabhupada says something here. Let's see. Topics discussed in the 7th, and now I'm reading from the purport to 9.1. Topics discussed in the 7th and 8th chapters are specifically related to devotional service. And because they bring enlightenment in Krishna consciousness, they are called more confidential. But the matters which are described in the 9th chapter deal with unalloyed, pure devotion. Is there a difference? Did you get it? So, in other words, there seems to be a difference between devotional service and pure devotion. Right? Because Prabhupada says, topics discussed in the 7th and 8th chapter are specifically related to devotional service, which bring enlightenment in Krishna consciousness. So you can say the Bhakti Yoga process is going through all these steps, ending with prema. And the 9th chapter, it deals with that unalloyed pure devotion. It deals with the goal, in other words. And the previous chapter is dealing with the process to come to the goal. Does it make sense? So that's the connection. Chapter 8 is building up, stating what is the goal, like this, and then the 9th chapter is more elaborating on the actual state of unalloyed pure devotion. That's why it's called the most confidential. It said that this is more confidential and higher than what previously had been said. Yeah. So that's why we have the second verse where Krishna is saying this: Raja Vidya Raja Guyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartamavyam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it's joyfully performed. Yeah. So So what are the main concepts in the 9th chapter? That is unalloyed pure devotion, that Prabhupada said here. Prabhupada says in a commentary, this chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called the King of Education because it is the essence of all doctrines and philosophies explained before. Among the principal philosophers in India, Gautama, Kanada, Kapila, Yajnavalkya, Sandilya, and Vaishvanara. And finally there is Vyasadeva, the author of the Vedanta Sutra. So there is no dart of knowledge in the field of philosophy or transcendental knowledge. Now the Lord says that this 9th chapter is the king of all such knowledge, the essence of all knowledge that can be derived from the study of the Vedas and different kinds of philosophy. Yeah. So 9th chapter is, in other words, very special. And the king of all confidential knowledge culminates in devotional service. Yeah, and of course, generally people are not educated in this confidential knowledge. They are educated in external knowledge. I explained that yesterday. You have two kinds of vidya or knowledge, that is paravidya and aparavidya. So paravidya is the transcendental knowledge, which actually deals with Krishna, and aparavidya is everything else. You can have knowledge about different Vedic sciences, such as Sanskrit, astronomy, astrology, health, whatever. It's called aparavidya because it pertains to the temporary material field, which is circled around the body, and the soul is actually above that. So what is dealing with the soul is actually what is dealing with bhakti. That's the meaning of 9th chapter. That bhakti is the actual essence of the soul. Everything else is working as you say ambience around the soul. Yeah. So Prabhupada says that this external knowledge, as far as ordinary education is concerned, people are involved with some departments: politics, sociology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, astronomy, engineering, etc. So all these are Vedic knowledges also. Even though they come from Vedas, they are still, aparavidya. The real Vidya is Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's words, Krishna's connections. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the next verse again. To the third verse. Yeah. So that is Ashradadanaha Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapyamam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Prabhupada says, the faithless cannot accomplish this process of devotional service. That is the purport of this verse. Faith is created by association with devotees. Unfortunate people, even after hearing all the evidence of Vedic literature from great personalities, still have no faith in God. They are hesitant and cannot stay fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. Thus faith is the most important factor for progress in Krishna consciousness. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said that faith is the complete conviction that simply by serving the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna one can achieve all perfection. That is called real faith. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 4.31.14. Yata tarur mulani shechanena tripyanti tat skanda bujupa shakaha pranupaharascha yatendriyanam tateva sarvarhanam achuteja. By giving water to the root of a tree, one satisfies its branches, twigs and leaves. And by supplying food to the stomach, one satisfies all the senses of the body. Similarly, by engaging in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, one automatically satisfies all the demigods and all other living entities. Yeah. So what was the question again? Why should one not be faithful? Well, if one doesn't have a good relationships with devotees, one will also not have much faith. So you see, it's explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. You have Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. So you start with Shraddha. The 9 steps of Bhakti yoga process. Yeah. So 1, Shraddha. 2, Sadhu Sangha. But actually, the faith is also created by the devotees. From Sadhu Sangha. So this is actually an explanation. The Shraddha is also from Sadhu Sangha. One has association with Sadhu and then one gets Shraddha. So Sadhu Sangha is also actually number 1. And then the Sadhu Sangha proper means learning, following the sadhus. Yeah. Yeah. First, one just hearing. Said actually that the first one is Shraddha, hearing from the sadhus. Then one gets faith. So the Shraddha is made by hearing from the sadhus. Yeah. And then one is then developing more by following in the footsteps of the sadhus. That means, practicing what the sadhus are practicing. And that is called Sadhu Sangha. And then you have Anartha, Nivritti, purification. Yeah. And then comes Gita, Nishta, yeah. Steady. And then flavor, yeah, the ruchi. And then comes spiritual attachment, asakti, yeah. Then 7. Oh, I missed one. Which one did I miss? You can tell me. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Nata, Nirviti, Nishta. I probably missed the most important one. So, I can go on, but we are missing one of them. And then one spiritual emotion, bhava, and then spirit, loving bliss, yeah, prema. We missed one because this was supposed to be 9. Adavashra, Tata, Sadhu Sangha, Anartha, Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi. That's amazing. I missed one. Anyway, you can tell me. But the point here is that by giving water to the root of the tree, one satisfies its branches. Yeah. Simply by serving the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, one can achieve all perfection. That is called real faith. So the faith is developing all the way up to prema. Yeah, that was my point. At any time, if one loses, how do you write lose like this? One lost the connection with the devotees, sadhus, we call sadhus, or Vaishnavas, by offense. Yeah, this is how it happens. One does offense to a devotee, and then one is losing the connection. Then one also is thrown back into the anartha nivritti stage for further purification before he can continue. Yeah, does it make sense? So say you can go you can go you can get steadiness, you can get taste, even maybe a little bit spiritual attachment, but still if one does an offense at the end of these stages, one is kicked back again into the anartha nivritti. Need to get some more purification, and one has to also get good sadhu sangha. That's part of the purification. Actually, the purification in the sadhu sangha. Yeah. So you see, it's not enough just to get purification alone. Okay, so but yeah, we all often do. So say one has done some offense, is losing a connection with the devotees, or connection with a specific devotee. In any case, one is then one has lost the taste at that stage. So then one needs to get some good sadhu sangha. One may chant a lot alone, like that. One may purify oneself a lot alone, and then one is coming back to the sadhu sangha as a more pure person than before. But one has to get back to the sadhu sangha. Yeah. So the purification of anartha nivritti, it includes getting good sadhu sangha. Does it make sense? Without sadhu sangha, one can actually have nothing of this, because it's the very start of the process and it follows all the way. Otherwise, one is what we call an impersonalist, and one just wants to merge with Brahman, right? Which devotees are really shunning, like the plague. Yeah. So okay, so yeah, please continue giving us some hints here. We'll try and read on by the blessings of the sadhus and gurus and the shastra. Text 4. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham tashvavashtita. By me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. So he says that he is not in what? He is not in the beings. But didn't we hear 1,000 times that the Lord is in everybody's heart as a super soul? Yes, we did. So Krishna is also saying another place that actually Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Ridesh Arjuna Tishtati Brahmanyam Sarvabhutanam Yantarudan Maya. Krishna actually says in another place that I am in everybody's heart. So how come that Krishna here is saying that he's not in all the beings? Well, it is because he is a person who is also localized in Goloka Vrindavan. So that means he's not in the material world. So this is a statement which is a general statement by Lord, that he's not where people don't want him to be. There is another verse where Krishna also says, Nam tishtami vaikunte yogirida yeshu va tatra tishtami narada yatra mad bhakta gayante. I am where my devotees are chanting about me. Yeah, that Krishna says, that he is there where his devotees are doing kirtan. And he's not even in the heart of the yogis, he says. What to speak of in the heart of people who doesn't want to have anything to do with Krishna. In another sense, he is always there as a super soul, but here Krishna is speaking as on behalf of his personal self. Yeah, you know, sometimes Krishna can speak about himself also in third person. He also does that in the Bhagavad Gita. He says to Arjuna one place that surrender to the Supreme Lord, surrender to him. Yeah. Another place Krishna says surrender to me. So in that way we have to understand Krishna is using different ways of speaking to make different points. He's talking about his unmanifested form by which he pervades the entire universe. So that is also called Brahman. Yeah. So we can write that here. So the unmanifested form, which we just mentioned here, it's also called Virat Rupa. More universal form. That equals Brahman. It's the level of Brahman. And then localized in the heart. The super soul localized in the heart. Super soul spread everywhere. I mean, he's in everybody's heart and he's also in every atom. But as a guide, yeah. It's a guide. Yeah. That's called Paramatma. So all these are different features. It's called the 3 features of Krishna. 3 features of God. Or 3, features. Yeah. And then you have the last one. The most personal friend, yeah, situated in Golok, yeah, Vrindavan. So that is Bhagavan. So the difference with Bhagavan is that he's not necessarily in everybody's heart. You understand? He's in the spiritual world. So we read yesterday from, it was quoted from Brahma Samhita, Goloka eva nivashati akilatma bhuta. He's always situated in Goloka. But he can also be in the heart as Krishna, for the devotees he is there. For those who are full devotees of Krishna, he will be there always in the heart. For those who are not devotees, he can be there either as Paramatma, or he may just be as the impersonal Brahman, or for those who are completely non-spiritual, there is no sense of him at all. Yeah. First of all, as Prabhupada says in the purport, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. It is said, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavat grayam indriyai selmukhi jivadav swayameva spurati adaha. Lord Shri Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc. cannot be understood by material senses. Yeah, so again, he can be seen only by the devotees. In the Brahma Samhita 538 it is stated, Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. One can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda always within himself and outside himself if one has developed a transcendental loving attitude towards him. Thus for people in general he is not visible. And again, here it is said that although he is all-pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by material senses. This is indicated by the word avyakta murtina. But Prabhupada says, but actually although we cannot see him, everything is resting on him. Yeah. That's the inconceivable Supreme Lord. We are extremely small and he is extremely big. So in that way it makes logical sense also that we may not be able to see him on account of our minuteness. Bhagavatam says that. So text 5, Nacha matstani bhutani pashyame yogamayishwaram bhutabrinna cha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation. Yeah. Yeah, again back to the Bhagavan feature. So Krishna himself is not concerned with the material creation because he's, as we said, he's always in Golok Vrindavan, having a relationship with his dear ones. His expansion as Lord Vishnu is dealing with material creation. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so as Prabhupada says in the purport, the Lord says that everything is resting on him. Matstani sarabhutani. So matstani means it's resting. It is situated in him. Yeah. Stana or stani, something about situation, where things are at. Yeah. So everything is in Krishna. However, Krishna is not necessarily concerned because he has all these expansions to concern himself with the creation indirectly through his expansions. This is a difference between Lord and us. That's why we can never understand that, because it is beyond us. Yeah. So text 6, Yata kashastito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan tata sarvani bhutani matstani ti ubhadaraya. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. Yeah. So we have to understand this with transcendental eyes, because it's not physical, it's rather metaphysical or even spiritual. Prabhupada says that for the ordinary person it is almost inconceivable how the huge material creation is resting in him. But the Lord is giving an example which may help us to understand. The sky may be the biggest manifestation we can conceive. And in that sky the wind or air is the biggest manifestation And in that sky the wind or air is the biggest manifestation in the cosmic world. The movement of the air influences the movements of everything. But although the wind is great, it is still seated within the sky. The wind is not beyond the sky. At least we can agree about this. The sky, that means space. The Akash. It's definitely bigger. It's the first one of the 5 elements. So in that way we can understand there's a hierarchy. And then Prabhupada says, similarly, all the wonderful cosmic manifestations are existing by the supreme will of God, and all of them are subordinate to that supreme will. Yeah, just like the air is subordinate to the sky, you can say. Then both the sky and the air and all the other elements also are subordinate to the Lord, by whose will all of these things are existing. Yeah. Yeah, so text 7. Sarvabhutani kaunteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshaya punastani kalpada visirjamyaham. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium by my potency I create them again. Yeah. So purport, the creation, maintenance and annihilation of this material cosmic manifestation are completely dependent on the supreme will of the personality of Godhead. At the end of the millennium means at the death of Brahma. Remember who Brahma was? He's the one in charge of the mode of passion, which then also includes the whole creation, because creation is done by mode of passion always. Yeah, so Brahma lives for 100 years and his one day is calculated at 4,000, or you could say 4 billion. No, it's 4,300 million of our earthly years. Yeah. His night is of the same duration. His month consists of 30 such days and nights, and his years of 12 months. After 100 such years, when Brahma dies, the devastation or annihilation takes place. This means that the energy manifested by the Supreme Lord is again wound up in himself. Then again, when there is need to manifest the cosmic world, it is done by his will. Bahushyam, although I am one, I shall become many. This is the Vedic aphorism, Chandogya Upanishad 6-3. He expands himself in this material energy and the whole cosmic manifestation again takes place. Yeah. So Bahu means many. And he's Eka, as we said yesterday also, he's the Eka Akshara. He's the one who is not destroyed. Everything else is destroyed. Yeah. So he expands himself in this material energy and the whole cosmic manifestation again takes place. But he can destroy it. And he's making sure it is actually annihilated. Because the meaning of the material world is not that we should stick around here. We should reach the eternal abode. By our sojourn in the material world, we should learn the lesson of life and be done with it, so that there is no attachment left, and only attachment to Krishna. Then we are in paradise in the real sense of the term, which is everlasting. That's the idea. So Krishna is again talking about the cosmic order here in text 8. Prakritim svama vashtabhya visirjami puna puna bhutagramam imam krishnam avarsham prakritir vashat. The whole cosmic order is under me, under my will it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will it is annihilated at the end. Yeah. So this material world is the manifestation of the inferior energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This has already been explained several times. It's very true. Aparyamitastvanyam prakritim vidime param jiva bhutam mahavo yayadam daryate jagat. Krishna is explaining the material elements to be inferior in explaining the soul or the jiva to be para, to be superior. Yeah. So Prabhupada says, at the creation, the material energy is let loose as the Mahatattva, into which the Lord, as his first Purusha incarnation, Mahavishnu, enters. He lies within the causal ocean and breathes out innumerable universes. And into each universe, the Lord again enters as Garbhudaka Shai Vishnu. Each universe is in that way created. He still further manifests himself as Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu. That Vishnu enters into everything, even into the minute atom. This fact is explained here. He enters into everything. Yeah. So that's the Paramatma feature of the Lord. He's not only in everybody's heart, he is in every atom also. Now back to our own situation. Now as far as the living entities are concerned, they are impregnated into this material nature. Okay. And as a result of their past deeds, they take different positions. Yeah. So thus the activities of this material world begin. Yeah. The activities of the different species of living beings are begun from the very moment of the creation. That means that all the species, they are, there. Yeah, Prabhupada said it is not that all is evolved. The different species of life are created immediately along with the universe. Men, animals, beasts, birds, everything is simultaneously created, because whatever desires the living entities had at the last annihilation are again manifested. Yeah. Na chamam tani karmani nibadnanti danja udasina vadasinam saktam tershu karmashu. Oh Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am very detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. Yeah. Yeah. So Prabhupada says one should not think that he is not engaged. He definitely has engagement. Yeah. So he has his say in everything that's going on in the material world. Okay, text 10. Maya dyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam jagat hetu nanena kauntiya jagat viparivartate. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. Usunakunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Yeah. It's chara and achara. Chara means moving and achara means not moving. What is the hetu? What is the cause? Yeah. It is the Lord. He is the cause. Maya Dyakshena, by his superintendence. Adyaksha means intendence, or superintendence. It says Maya, by my superintendence, this Prakriti, both movable Prakriti or unmovable. For example, immovable Prakriti is all the stuff, it's lying everywhere. That's all the Dravya, all the matter, which are sense objects. That's inert, or to say in a different way, it doesn't have consciousness. It cannot, sense things. So it's called Archit. So they are moving under the Lord's arrangement. He's the Supreme Director. Yeah. Adyaksha. Okay, so let's go to the next. Avajanantima mudha manushim tanumashritam parambhavam ajananto mamabhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. Yeah. So Prabhupada says that from the other explanations of the previous verse in this chapter, from the other explanations of the previous verses in this chapter. It is clear that Supreme Personality of Godhead, although appearing like a human being, is not a common man. The Personality of Godhead who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the complete cosmic manifestation cannot be a human being. Yet there are many foolish men who consider Krishna to be a merely a powerful man and nothing more. Actually, he is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the original Supreme Personality as it's confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Yeah. So let's see, did we jump over one verse now? It's just a long way to the next verse. See, which verse were we on? 11. It has an enormous purport. Yeah. A great body of text. Please read it at your spare time. We don't have time to do that in our seminar. So okay, text 12. Mogasha moga karmano moga jnana vichetasa rakshasim asurim chaiva prakriti moinim shrita. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their cultural knowledge are all defeated. Yeah. So Krishna is not vouching for demonic and asuric views. So demonic is here called Rakshasa, also known as man-eating, bad guys. And Asura is a general atheist. Usually they are also very powerful and strong and rule everywhere they go. So to cultivate Krishna knowledge, it is a good thing to do in order to not be deluded by atheists, be bewildered or attracted by these other philosophies. Yeah. So Prabhupada says a very strong purport here that there are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service going back to God will never be tasted. So, a supremely big amount of faith has to be amassed to one's practice. And similarly, those who are engaged in fruitive pious activities and who are ultimately hoping to be liberated from this material entanglement will never be successful either, because they derive the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna. In other words, persons who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demonic or atheistic. As described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, such demonic miscreants never surrender to Krishna. Therefore, their mental speculation to arrive at absolute truth bring them to the false conclusion that ordinary living entity and Krishna are the one and the same. With such a false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature, and that as soon as one is liberated from this material body, there is no difference between God and himself. Okay. Well, it's a false conviction. Text 13. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakriti mashrita pajamtyananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of God, original and inexhaustible. Yeah. So here you have the interesting word, Bhajanti Ananya Manaso. So Bhajan, it means devotional service, and Ananya Manaso, Ananya means something else. And Manaso, it means the mind. So there is nothing else in the mind for the person who's really into bhakti for Krishna. Yeah. So Prabhupada says that in this verse the description of the Mahatma is clearly given. The first sign of the Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under control of material nature. So how is that affected? That is explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of God, Shri Krishna, at once becomes freed from the control of material nature. Yeah. So the person, in other words, is surrendered. In text 14, Satatam kirtam tumam yatantas chadrida vratam namasyantas chamam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Yeah, and then Prabhupada says that the Mahatma cannot be manufactured by rubber stamping an ordinary man. His symptoms are described here. A Mahatma is always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. He has no other business. He is always engaged in the glorification of the Lord. In other words, he is not an impersonalist. Very good. Okay, so text 15. Yana yagena chapyane yajantu mamupasate ekatvena pritaktvena bauda vishvatomukam. Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form. Yeah. Yeah, so Prabhupada says that this verse it's a summary of the previous verses. The Lord tells Arjuna that those who are purely in Krishna consciousness and do not know anything other than Krishna are called Mahatma. Yet there are other persons who are not exactly in the position of Mahatma, yet who worships Krishna also in different ways. Some of them have already been described as the distressed, the financially destitute, the inquisitive, and those who are engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. But there are others who are still lower, and these are divided into three. One, he who worships himself as one with the Supreme Lord, he who concocts some form of the Supreme Lord and worships that. And three, who accepts the universal form, the Vishwarupa of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worships that. Out of the above three, the lowest, those who worship themselves as the Supreme Lord, thinking themselves to be the monists, are most predominant. Yeah. So Prabhupada says that such people think themselves to be the Supreme Lord, and in this mentality they can worship themselves. This is also a type of God worship. They can understand that they are not a material body, but they are actually a spiritual soul. At least such a sense is prominent. Yeah. So in that way, I met so many people through my life who came to Krishna eventually. Okay, so text 16. Aham kratur aham yagya swada aham aushadam mantram eva yam aham agnir aham hutam. But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering. Yeah. So all these sacrifices and arrangement, they are also Krishna, as long as they are following the book. Text 17. Pitaham asya jagato mata data pitamaha vidyam pavitram omkara riksama yajure vacha. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sam, and the Ayurvedas. Yeah. So I think Krishna had said in 9th chapter also that he's Om, and again he says he's Om. So Om is pretty significant, as we can understand. Yeah, so Prabhupada says that the entire cosmic manifestation, moving and non-moving, are manifested by different activities of Krishna's energy. In the material existence, we create different relationships with different living entities, or nothing but Krishna's marginal energy. Under the creation of Prakriti, some of them appear as our father, mother, grandfather, etc., but actually they are parts and parcels of Krishna. As such, these living entities who appear to be our father, mother, etc., are nothing but Krishna. In this verse, the word data means creator. Not only are our father and mother parts and partials of Krishna, but the creator, grandmother and grandfather, etc. are also Krishna. Actually, any living entity being part and partial of Krishna is Krishna. All the Vedas therefore aim only toward Krishna. Whatever we want to know through the Vedas is but a progressive step toward understanding Krishna. That subject matter which helps us purify our constitutional position is especially Krishna. Similarly, the living entity who is inquisitive to understand all Vedic principles is also part and partial of Krishna, and as such it's also Krishna. In all the Vedic mantras, the word Om, called Pranava, is a transcendental sound vibration, right? Let's see if we can read on there. In all the Vedic mantras, the word Om, called Pranava, is a transcendental sound vibration and is also Krishna, because in all the hymns of the four Vedas, Sama, Yajur, Yajna, Tava, the Pranava of Omkara is very prominent. It is understood to be Krishna. Very good. So text 18. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Shakshi Nivasa Sharanam Surit Prabhava Pralaya Stanam Nidhanam Bijam Avyam. I am the goal, the sustainer and master witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and annihilation in the basis. I am the creation and annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place, and the eternal seed. Yeah. Prabhupada says, Gati means the destination where we want to go, but the ultimate goal is Krishna. All the people do not know it. One who does not know Krishna is misled in his so-called progressive march is either partial or hallucinatory. Yeah. Okay, so text 19. Tapamyaham maham varsham nigrinami utsirjami cha amritam chaiva mrityuscha satyashakcha Arjuna. O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. So the purport, Krishna by his different energies diffuses heat and light through the agency of electricity and the sun. During the summer season it is Krishna who checks rain from falling from the sky, and then during the rainy season he gives unceasing torrents of rain. The energy which sustains us by prolonging the duration of our life is Krishna, and Krishna meets us at the end as death. By analyzing all these different energies of Krishna, one can ascertain that for Krishna there is no distinction between matter and spirit, or in other words, he is both matter and spirit. In the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, one therefore makes no such distinctions. He sees only Krishna in everything. Since Krishna is both matter and spirit, their gigantic universal form The gigantic universal form comprising all material manifestations is also Krishna. In his pastimes in Vrindavan as two-handed Shyamasundara playing on a flute are those of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, so the knowledge that Krishna is indeed everywhere, and that one can see him by love, this is the most confidential knowledge. And it has to be experienced by each and every single one of the devotees of Krishna in order to become realized knowledge. Yeah, that's the word I was missing previously. So there was two kinds of knowledge. Yeah, the first one is theoretical knowledge. Yeah, jnana. Then you have realized knowledge. Called vijnana. Yeah. So vijnana is what happens when one becomes Krishna conscious. We can say becomes spiritually aware. in the state of Krishna consciousness. Yeah, so we'll continue next time on text 20. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Gita Siddhis ki jai.